Hello and welcome to High Point Music's Gear Reviews. I'm Lewis and today I'm going to take you through the Dunlop 535Q wah pedal. The wah pedal was first introduced as a way of giving guitarists a vocal-like expression to their lead and rhythm work. It was likened to the mute or the wah sound that a trumpet player may use. And it uses an EQ shelf to give you a peak signal. So it lets some signal through and then gets rid of bass and treble either side of that peak frequency. The Dunlop 535Q wah has a few features that make it reasonably unique in wah world. Most of those features are to do with the range of the product. So it has a 6-position switch on the side that lets you select 6 different frequency ranges that it can sweep between, allowing you to tailor your guitar tone to your amp and where the wah is going to sweep in between. It also has a volume boost, which allows you to boost the signal of the wah up and use it more like in a solo or as a function where when you turn your wah pedal on, you may perceive a lack of volume because there is such a smaller amount of frequency coming through. So you can use that boost to counteract that. And lastly, it has a Q control. And the Q control varies the amount of peak to the frequency that it lets pass through while the wah is active, sharpening or dulling the frequency response of that wah sound. So the wah, or the 535Q wah, is great for guitarists who are using a lot of gain and distortion because you can really pick your frequency ranges, or for anybody that's maybe playing a wide variety of music genres because you can really tailor it to a vintage or a modern sound. So I'll take you through some of the wah sounds now and we can see what it's capable of. So today my guitar is running into the wah pedal, out of the wah pedal into our 2-notes Leclerc. This is a reasonably common connection. There is much debate about where the wah should go in your chain, and the only correct answer is it goes where you think it sounds the best, but I'm running it straight into the front today. I guess that's the more traditional way it was run. When the wah pedal came about, there wasn't a great amount of effects pedals, so the classic sounds or the sounds of the wah that people refer to as somewhat gospel will be a guitar into the wah and the wah into the amp. This is our clean sound. Some bridge pickup. I've got a dirty mode on the Leclerc set up as well. Some neck. So we'll turn the wah on and show you what it can do. The range setting on the wah pedal at the moment is set to its lowest setting, so I'll show you that first. And some dirty. So I'll take you through to the next wah range setting and show you that one. So I started at the most counterwise setting. There are 6 settings to choose from, as I mentioned earlier, and this is the second of those settings. So it's not the least, but it's second from the last. And now I'll show you the third setting. And the next setting. So you can probably hear that as the wah range steps forward, we're getting more accentuation to the high frequencies in the upper range, which helps to cut through on the gain sounds and definitely helps to cut through when you move to the neck pickup. So we'll go a little bit higher now. So this is the second highest setting on the range. And then to the highest in the range settings. Neck. Some dirty. So you can hear that as we step through the range, we're shifting the low frequency higher and the upper frequency higher. So this is versatile. You maybe not going to use every setting on this pedal, but it gives you the versatility to be able to set the bottom frequency to give you some clarity and to set your top frequency so that you're not too bright or not causing extraneous feedback using gain. Guitar choice is going to be a big difference to the sound of the pedal, as is your amplifier, and because of that sweepable frequency range, there's going to be something there that you can use at least 1, 2 or 3 settings on. So a good tip here for using the wah I find is sometimes it's nice to be able to have the bottom of the wah be inaudible, so you can really bottom it out and not hear anything. And sometimes it's good to be able to set it so that it's really peaky, so that you don't have to move the wah as much to get from the darker tone to the brighter tone in the range of what you're playing. So the next control on the pedal is the Q control. I'll show you 3 or 4 settings there that just show you the range of the shape of the product. I'm going to set the wah range to its medium setting and we'll go from there. So this is the medium range with the Q control set to its absolute minimum. I'll now move it to about 1/4 of its setting. So this is the 1/4 Q setting, still on that medium range. Some dirt. You can definitely hear it starting to get a little bit brighter in that peak response. So now I'll move it to about 3/4 of its setting and you can hear what that sounds like. So this is about 3/4 on the Q setting. You can definitely hear that the guitar is getting a little bit thinner in the bottom end of the range of the wah and reasonably peaky in the upper register, which is the toe down position. So some gain sounds. You can just start to hear a little hint of feedback there as those upper frequencies are getting more of a peak to them, a little sharper sounding, which can be a great way to get a little bit of feedback on stage or to get those sort of rock and roll moments happening while you're using it. So now I'll go to the full Q setting and you can hear what it's like at its brightest. So this is the Q setting at its maximum. It sounds like this. So quite bright in the upper register and not as dark in the lower register. Some gain. You can really hear that it's a very obvious wah sound. You can absolutely tell that it's on. And as you roll towards the toe down position of the wah, it's a very bright and cutting sound. So great for lead tones. I would liken this sort of lead tone to some of the modern Pearl Jam sounds or Metallica sounds where there's a lot of other stuff going on and you want your guitar to cut through. This is a great setting for that. So that's the 535Q wah. It's got a lot of variation. It's got a lot of settings for you to choose from. So for me, it's a great tool for a guitarist who's playing covers or writing their own material where the dynamic range of songs is shifting a lot or the styles are shifting a lot. It's an incredibly expressive tool for a lead guitarist and a rhythm guitarist. You can really manipulate the way it's going to come through and give the guitar some movement dynamically and expressively that you can't do with your hands the same as you can the wah. So That's the 535Q. The Dunlop products are very well made. It's important to note that this pedal is true bypass, so that when it's off, it is in no way affecting the rest of your signal. And if you're interested in checking one out, you can follow the link below. We'll also have a link to the power supply that we're using, because a good power supply is a great way to make sure that any of your pedals is ready to use at any time. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, a like, a comment, a follow, a share on social media, and you can check out our members area and our blog for more information on how we're using pedals and some more settings and things like that that you may be interested in. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week.